Hello people, it's your boy Osman back again with another video. The last couple of days have been eventful to say the least. Dybala is off the cards. It looks like Fernandes potentially could still be on his way, but the other person that has been linked to Man United in the last 24 hours is that man Christian Erikson of Spurs. As you guys probably already know, Erikson has only got 1 year left on his contract, which means he could be leaving next season on a free if he doesn't agree a contract. If you're new here, first and foremost, feel free to subscribe, drop a like. I do appreciate all the comments and all the support. Honestly, it really does mean a lot to me. But yeah, just coming back to the main sort of conversation. Basically, it's coming to a point now, 2 days left, 48 hours. Erikson or Fernandes or none, basically. It looks like we're going to be in for a flipping bumpy ride, put it that way. I don't know I honestly don't know what to think anymore, because there's so many contrasting reports. Like I said with the Dybala one, it was on at one point, then it was off, then it was on, then now it looks like it's definitely off. For me personally, this isn't me saying it in hindsight. I'm pretty sure I said it in my previous video. Dybala didn't want to come, and also it didn't look like it was for the right reason as well, the way we were trying to push the deal, in the sense that he wasn't really going to play for the badge. Because he didn't want to be here, which is fair enough. I don't have anything against Dybala. He's still a very good quality player, and I respect his decision, to be honest with you. He wants to stay at Juventus and fight for his place by the sounds of it, and that's fair play to him. I wish him all the best there. But coming back to ours, for me personally, it has to be... it's a difficult one. Fernandes or Erikson. I want you guys to let me know what you think. Who would you take? Would you take Fernandes or would you take Erikson? For me personally, Erikson is Premier League proven. I've seen him consistently in the last couple of years, a lot more than I have seen Fernandes. Obviously, Fernandes I've seen here and there. I'm not seeing a lot of the Portuguese, I'm not going to lie. So I can't really sit here and say, oh, I've seen loads and loads of Fernandes. From what I've seen, he looks a quality player. Apologies, that's just YouTube playing in the background. Stop that. There we go. Yeah, so from what I've seen, he looks a very good player, I've got to be honest. But in saying that, I've seen a lot more of Erikson. And for me personally, I know exactly what I'm getting with Erikson. We're going to get a ball-playing midfielder who's got unbelievable amount of creativity. He can play in that deep line role alongside McTominay. And I think he'd absolutely make that role his own, which would mean Pogba could play more advanced. And we'd have two creative options. I can see people's concerns with him. Basically, a lot of people on social media in particular are saying, I don't want Erikson on the basis of the fact that he has gone missing on numerous occasions in big games, and I can completely see that. Nevertheless, he's a very, very cheap in comparison. In fact, no, actually, to be fair, they're probably the same price. I would assume Levy would probably accept 50 to 60 million, because obviously, like I said, he could potentially be going on a free next year if he doesn't sign a contract, and I'm pretty sure Levy is not going to say no to 50 to 60 million. That's a lot of money for Spurs. I know they've signed Ndembele, but hypothetically speaking, if we did buy Erikson off them for 50 to 60 million, they could go and put that money to Fernandes and buy Fernandes. What do you guys think? Would you be happy with us getting Erikson and allowing Spurs to get Fernandes, or would you think that would be a mistake and strengthening our competitors? Realistically speaking, if we were to get Fernandes and he finally came to Manchester United, that would be a fantastic signing for us. But it would also mean we don't really know what the situation with Erikson is for Spurs, so potentially not strengthen them. Obviously, he will be playing for them this season. Nevertheless, he potentially could be leaving next season. However, if we get Fernandes, and they may lose Erikson next year, but if we get Erikson, they can have Fernandes for 5, 6, 7 years or whatever it may be. So potentially we could be doing them a favour, getting them out of a very sticky situation, similar to what we did with Arsenal when we took Sanchez off them when he was practically leaving, and then we gave him Mkhitaryan. But yeah, that's another story. Anyways, for me personally, I've not made my mind up. I've got to be honest. I really, really like the look of Fernandes. I think he's got bags of ability, and his sort of potential as well is really, really high. With Erikson, he's coming to the latter stages of his career in the sense that he's at his peak now. He's at the peak of his powers, and is he the player that we need? For me personally, 100% he's phenomenal on the ball. But it's still a difficult one because Fernandes is a lot younger. He's got a very high ceiling still, and we've not really seen the best of him just yet. It's a risk though with Fernandes, I've got to be honest, because obviously he's not Premier League proven. He might come and not be able to adjust. We've seen the likes of Fred come in, and I'm not saying they're in the same bracket of player, but Fred was absolutely killing it in the Russian league. And you could argue the Russian league is a lot more difficult than the Portuguese league. He came from there, was absolutely busting. He's come here and he's not looked himself. He's not settled and he's not adjusted to the intensity of the Premier League. So that could potentially happen with Fernandes. So for me personally, I've got to be honest, right? I would probably take Erikson, and this is probably going to surprise a lot of you lot because I've been absolutely waxing lyrical about Fernandez. I proper rate the kid, but just based on the fact that I know what I'm going to get with Erikson, and nothing is guaranteed. Obviously, we saw with Sanchez, but with Erikson, obviously he's still got youth on his side. Unlike Sanchez, who's coming towards the end of his not end of his career, but his legs are gone. Erikson, nothing is looking similar in that sense. He's not declining, so to speak. But yeah, he's used to the Premier League. He's adjusted to the system of the Premier League, the intensity. He presses. He's in a very hard-working Spurs team. There seems to be this notion that he's not a hard-working player, and that is completely false. Because obviously Pochettino is a very demanding manager, and he's been one of his best players, Erikson. I think on his day, Erikson is absolutely phenomenal. And I remember in particular when Spurs absolutely battered us when De Gea was man of the match, Erikson pulled the strings in that game. And so for me personally, I would take Erikson on the basis that he's already done it in the Premier League, and he's done it to a pretty good standard as well. Fernandez is a risk, and for me, he's not a risk, but he's more of a risk than Erikson because we don't know how he's going to adjust. And for me personally, we need someone to hit the ground running. So that's my personal opinion. Either way, if we got any of them, I would be absolutely over the moon. Make no mistake about it. I love what I've seen of Fernandez. He looks like a quality player, and he's got bags of goals in him, which we definitely need. But from what I've seen of Erikson, obviously we know Erikson well, and also as a dead ball specialist as well, which we definitely need. But yeah, just in general, that's my personal opinion on the situation. Just to quickly finish it off, are we going to get either of them? I don't think we'll get Erikson. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Fernandez is definitely more likely because we've been linked to him, and it's probably easy deal to get done because I'm assuming there's been some form of contact in the last month. I would have liked to think there's been contact, but getting it done in 2 days with Daniel Levy is going to be unbelievably difficult. He's going to be asking for stupid money, and I don't actually think he's worth more than 60 million, Erikson. I think we're doing him a massive favour if we give him anything more than 60 million because, like I said, he's only got a year left on his contract. So if anything, that's a get out of jail card for them. But yeah, I can't see us getting it. I just think it's going to be too difficult. And on top of that, just don't know what's happening with that club at the moment. It's an absolute shambles. You can't really, assess the situation because you don't know what's true. Rumours was what's false, what's true. So I'm going to stick to Fernandez in the sense that I think he's more likely to come. I have been very consistent and saying that I think Fernandez and Maguire will come, and obviously Maguire's already arrived. So I'm going to stick by that, and I would be definitely over the moon with that because Fernandez, like I said, is a quality player. But it's just that little sort of bit of me that is he going to do it in the Premier League? Anyways, that is my opinion on the whole situation. Like I said, I don't think Erikson will happen, but we'll have to wait and see. I think Fernandez is definitely more likely. Either way, let me know what you guys think. It's been your boy, man. Go United! Come on!